Okay, boxing fans, there's some news that's coming that I want to share with you that is very interesting. It's to do with Rock Nation. Now, before I begin, I will say this much. Um, this is something that's in the process of happening or negotiations, but this is what it. This is how I've heard the information, and my source or my good friend from Leave It in the Ring Radio, uh, Dave Duenis, who I have followed for many years in boxing, does a lot of investigative journalism, and that's why I truly respect his things that he's telling me. So this is where I've got my source from. Rock Nation. Everyone's talked about it, and everyone says, well, there are a lot of people that don't understand. Rock Nation have been around for a long time, um, and for those people who want to dispute that, the first time I know, or it was brought to my attention about Rock Nation, was the Marco Antonio Barrera fight with Prince Nazim Hamed. If you go back and look at that fight then, um, you'll see on Barrera's shorts, Rock Nation. They were there, Rockaware. So they've been wanting to get involved in boxing for a long time. But if you really want to be in boxing and to be up there with the likes of Top Rank, Golden Boy, and the rest of the big names in boxing main event, what you need to do is have a lot of collateral behind you, a lot of collateral around you to be able to bring fighters into your camp, buy fighters, stable of fighters, and to go about it in a manner which is going to be taken seriously and for some longevity into the sport. Now, so it happens that Rock Nation have got a lot of money behind them now. They tried before, but they've got a lot of money behind them. They were trying to buy or get rights into the fight between Stavern and Wilder, which was, a lot of people talked about it. You've heard about it, so it's of no great surprise what I'm telling you here. But what you may not know is that Rock Nation are making a real big move here, and they're actually going out and buying out Gary Shaw Promotions. Basically, Gary Shaw and the fighters that Gary Shaw has will basically no longer belong to Gary Shaw, but now will be part of Rock Nation. So all the fighters that fight under under Gary Shaw, as of I think the next show that Gary Shaw puts on and fighters are involved in, they will be signed to Rock Nation. Although what the clever thing is, what they're trying to work out here, from what I'm understanding again, is in the negotiations, they're trying to make sure that Gary Shaw remains at the helm of Rock Nation, so that what you have there in terms of their boxing plans is to ensure that they've got a captain at the helm that knows boxing, knows in and outs, and how the dynamics of boxing works. So therefore, the business continues to run successfully, but is now bought up by the Rock Nation brand. So Rock Nation is the brand, the name, but they still have Gary Shaw within Rock Nation, working within Rock Nation as a pivotal point to making Rock Nation move forward. So basically, in 2015, Rock Nation, with the fighters they assigned under Gary Shaw Promotions, which I believe would include Bryant Jennings, will become a dominant force in boxing. So it's a case of taking over a stable of fighters and then being in boxing, not as a new entity in terms of a brand, but although they've been in boxing before, not a pretty low profile, now when they enter boxing, they're in a position where they're with an organization that already has some grounding and has got, as Gary Shaw is very known as one of the best promoters in the world, so, or promoter managers in the world. So really and truly, I think this is a smart move by Rock Nation, and you could call them the anti-Al Heyman. Al Heyman trying to buy up all the fighters so they all fight on his network, and he has a monopoly in boxing. And Rock Nation would be the anti-Al Heyman. So it's going to be interesting. So in 2015, we can look forward to seeing Rock Nation alongside Top Rank, alongside Golden Boy, and Made Events and Mayweather Promotions. All that is going to be very interesting for 2015. So it'll be interesting to see what other moves Rocnation actually apply in 2015. We've heard the rumors, we've heard how Rocnation wanted to buy certain fighters, but now they're going to have a brand which has got an established name behind it or running the ship that may make more fighters want to join them, and it should be interesting. It should be even more interesting because the way things are going, from what I'm seeing with Al Heyman fighters, and it's no snub on Al Heyman fighters, but it just seems that their careers are stalling and they're not fighting the fighters in the sort of opposition we'd like to see them fight. So I don't know that if when Rocnation actually become the fully fledged company and it's all done and dusted, whether fighters will defect and go to Rocnation, and because Rocnation are going to put in big fights and good fights. How they counter the NBC thing with Al Heyman, again, I don't know the ins and outs of that. But it's March 2015, Rocnation going to have their plans as well. So, should be very, very, very interesting. Love to know what people think about this, but this is my news to give to you, courtesy of my good friend Dave Dwinnis at Leave It in the Ring Boxing. We just have to wait and see in terms of negotiations, but that's it. Basically, Rocnation are going to are buying out or have bought out already Gary Shaw Promotions. So this is interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think, and girls out there. I think it's exciting news. We do know what happens when there's a monopoly and one guy's trying to buy up all the fighters. Dates become a question. So obviously you've got TV shows, dates, and then what is it about? Is it about now fighters fighting against the best fighters in the world, or fighters having records, padded records, and winning world championships, but not actually fighting good opposition? They say boxing's a business, but it's a business to the point where we've got promoters and managers making boxers into DJs, just building records. Are we going to go into getting super fights? If he goes down the way of Al Heyman at the moment, it looks like we won't get the super fights. Love to know what people in America think about this. And of course, those in the UK and across the world, their thoughts on Rocnation. But I was stunned myself when I looked, because I went to check up on the whole thing with Barrera and Hamid, and then I looked at what I saw Rockaware on. You see it on Barrera short. So they actually sponsored. From what I understand, they actually sponsored Rocnation sponsored Barrera for that fight and had some deans for that fight. So okay, that's what I'm sharing now. If there's any other news, I'll let you know. But as for now, Bayloric TV, I'm out. Take care.